as always, I'm a little bit peckish. So I'm going to be cooking up a Bachelor's pasta and sauce. This is the Carbonara flavour. I've done a couple of these style things already. They are actually meant to be cooked inside the bag in the microwave, ready in 90 seconds. But I'm going to empty the contents out into the Jetboil and heat it up that way. I know a lot of people don't like eating food out of plastic bags, or cooking food in plastic bags anyway, so we'll see how it cooks up in here. So there's only 212 calories in this pack, so that's not an awful lot for a backpacking or on the go meal. So I'm going to bump it up a little bit with a pepperami, which adds around 100 calories to it. So let's crack on. You're going to have to excuse the location, by the way. I've had a bit of an accident, so I'm hobbling. I was coming down off one of the edges a few days ago and I slipped, and I've torn the tendon just above my knee, the one that links the quadricep muscle to your knee, I believe. So I'm struggling for a little bit. So at the minute I can't even get down the bank to the woods, so I'm going to have to be a little bit more inventive about where I get outdoors. But it's going to take a while to heal, so I'm more worried about what I'm going to do for the main channel, to be honest with you. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to put a little bit of water in this, not a lot. It says in other types of meals, you know, the rice ones, it says put 30 ml. So I'm just going to put a little splash in, just enough to sort of steam it through, and hopefully this doesn't burn on the bottom of the pot. Let's have a smell, do the sniff test. Don't really smell much. I thought it would be creamy. Let's get this in the pot. This is where you need your slightly longer spoon. Not quite that long. There we go. Get the last bit out. Oh, there's little bits of ham or bacon in there. Not a lot though. I don't know if you can see that. See if it's any better when it's warm. So there's not a lot in there. So it's definitely not a meal on its own. That is for sure. I haven't bought a chopping board with me, but I'm just going to use that. So, you know, multiple use items. Although I have in the past just, you know, bit chunks off and dropped them in there, but I'm not going to be a complete animal today. So I'm just going to chop these up just to little pieces. So it's now a little bit over a 300 calorie meal. Get that in there, give it a bit of a stir around. It doesn't look very impressive, does it? Well, let it heat up, give it the benefit of the doubt. So the gear I'm using today is the Jetboil Flash. I'm not going to bother with the canister support. I do not want this to burn on the bottom because it will be a nightmare to clean off, so I'm going to fire it up and then put it on the lowest heat and maybe just keep stirring it around. In fact, I am just going to keep stirring it. Can't even stand up to have a look at the minute. I can keep taking it off the heat just to, because the pot will hold some heat in there. Much easier when you're boiling the bag. You haven't really got to think about it. There's no clean up to do afterwards. But I'll show you how I clean the pot. I bought a few bits and my little hack for washing up liquid. So that's the thing with Jetboils, it's all or nothing. So it's already starting to stick on the bottom. Sauce is too watery now. I've only put a tiny bit of water in. I'm hoping that it's like a cup of soup in the bottom. Yeah, £1.50 this. You'd be better off with just boiling some pasta up and putting a cup of soup in it. although it doesn't feel like it's burning now. So you definitely need, if you're boiling in the pot or heating in the pot, you need a little bit of liquid in the bottom, or you're just going to have a sticky mess. But it's a lot quicker this way. Yeah, it's bubbling that. So that's going to be definitely hot enough to eat. Right, I'll get a spoonful with the sausage on. What do you think? Pasta looks a bit over soggy. I like mine a bit, what's it, al dente? A little bit chewy still. I got a piece of pepperoni with it, which is good. Let's try the pasta on its own with a tiniest little bit of ham. It's doing a job, and I suppose if you've just walked a long way, it's not bad, but the pasta's a bit sloppy. But it's quick. The pepperoni is the star of the show. Yeah, look at it. It's like just a soggy mess. I won't be getting that one again. But it's going to do a job for now. I've eaten worse. So there is a little bit of stuck stuff to the bottom. So as soon as I've eaten this, I'll show you the bottom of the pan and how I clean it up. Definitely recommend bringing pepperoni with you though, because if you like a bit of spicy sausage, I know it's not red hot, you can get different flavour ones as well, fiery ones, but it just adds a bit of something to a bit of flavour to something that's quite bland. So what do you reckon to me stick? This is £4. Joe got me this from a charity shop. You take for granted, don't you, the simple things that you can do, just like putting one foot in front of the other. And when you need to get to certain places for your job, because I don't get sick pay, nothing like that, so I've still got to try and come up with videos or I don't get paid. But at the minute I need to rest. You know, the car is 10 yards away, so I can still walk, but going downhill on the declines really hurts. Can't bend my knee properly, well, at all really. I can't sit on the chair normally. I've got to, so my left leg is extended out at the moment. I'm rambling. I could confidently say this is the worst I've had when it comes to pasta. Usually you can't go wrong with it. I need to stand up for this bit. You can see where it's burnt on a bit at the bottom there. I'm just going to add a little bit of water. I'm going to fire it up again in the stove. I'm just going to use a plastic spoon just to scrape it away in the bottom. Try and get rid of any loose food. So it's still stuck in the bottom there. So my secret weapon, so I've got some, you know, these are the shower gels you get when you go and stop in a hotel or something, but once we've used it, I've put a little bit of washing up liquid in there, squirt some of that in, still a few drops. This water's boiling, remember, so I'm going to just add a little bit of cold so it doesn't burn my fingers, and then I've got a little tiny scrubbing pad. So this is, I don't know what it's called. It's one of the things you get from Home Bargains, but I've cut it down a little bit, so it was a bigger one. Bit of clean water in just to rinse things out. And I've got a dishcloth slash towel. Ready for next time. There we go, Bachelor's pasta and sauce carbonara. It's a no from me. I won't be having that one again. Let me know in the comments if you've tried it before and what you think of it. Make sure to take all your rubbish home with you. I'm going to try and get out of this picnic table again and thinking about getting home and editing this video. I'll leave you with one bit of advice. Try and watch where you're walking. Look after yourself. Don't slip or fall over. I have got something a little bit special planned for the next meal, so make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and if you enjoyed the video, you know, give it a thumbs up. That helps me out with the algorithm and all that malarkey. Right, I'll see you next time.